welcome to the podcast. Here are 2 cents. My name's Allie.
And I'm Maysa.
Today we have Maysa with us. Woo! So today I'm going to ask Maysa a series of like 20 questions.
We'll see how that goes.
But real quick, can you give an introduction to yourself? And challenge part 2, can you do it in your languages? I put her on the spot. Just a little bit about yourself.
I'm just already translating in my head. I'm Maysa. I've been in Korea now since 2014. I'm finishing up year 11 with Epic. Mm-hmm. I've been with Epic the entire time. I'm originally from LA. Yeah, that's just the basics. I've been here for a while. And Ali put me on the spot to speak all...
name and where you're from?
Oh no, we'll just stick to English. Because I can't compute in the other languages.
But she does know 2 other languages. All right. So, my first question for you, Maysa. What was your biggest culture shock when you first moved to Korea?
Oh gosh.
It's like in 2014, you.
2014 Korea. Now Korea... We didn't have kupang, we didn't have pedal, we didn't have a lot of the accessibility that you guys have today, like even like Kakao Maps.
Yeah.
That wasn't accessible to us then. So I was also placed in the countryside.
Yeah.
So I think my biggest accessibility was getting stuff that I needed like from home. I didn't realize how much like I would want, like I still do too. Like my favorite like things like I always ask when people come back is bring me hot Cheetos.
I love showing my kids hot Cheetos.
I always tell my kids that. But I think back then, my biggest culture shock was just that people didn't believe that I was American.
Why do you say that?
Because being in the countryside, my kids grew up only know American kids as blonde hair, blue eyes. Mm-hmm. And so coming in and me speaking English, but where really are you from? But where really are you from? And I was based in Chirguk, which actually has a U.S. military base.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of foreigners or walking around. So my kids were exposed to Americans, but not my kind of American, like Asian Americans.
They just weren't
exposed to that at all. So I think that was one of the biggest challenges I had. But where are you really from? But how come you speak English?
I've gotten that a little bit, but like I'll tell them I'm American, and then they look at me like, "But African?" And I'm like, "No, American." And I go, "Oh no, amigo," and they're like, "Oh, American." And it's like, "Yes."
Which is now because I've been here for a while. My
you have the opposite effect now.
My Korean is pretty good. I don't speak in full like fluency, but like
she's lying.
I can get by, but it's kind of like the opposite now, where
they don't believe that you're American.
They don't believe I'm American because I speak Korean more fluently than when I first came. But I think that was like my biggest like challenge coming back in 2014, just trying to like
accessibility and adjusting. So why Korea? Why did you move to Korea out of all places? Was it your first choice, or
I was in between Korea and Thailand.
Okay. Because
I am Thai American. Mm-hmm. But my sister had studied abroad here in Korea for a semester. She was like, just give it a shot. They speak English there. You'll be like accessible. They have a Costco. Like it'll work. That's if I was placed in Seoul.
Or Daegu.
Or someplace with more accessibility. Mm-hmm. And I was not placed there. And that's what happened. But yeah, my sister had recommended because she studied abroad here in Korea. Mm-hmm. And I had an interest in like Korean culture and like coming over here anyways.
Yeah.
And ultimately I wanted to do something without the help of my family.
I can respect that.
I didn't know the language as well. I mean, like when you first come to Korea, you have like an interest in the culture and stuff like that. But like that's all I had.
Yeah.
But if I went to Thailand and if I like needed something, all I needed to do was call up an aunt, call up an uncle, a cousin, and I'd have whatever I needed.
Yeah.
But in Korea, like 10 years ago, there was no Kupang. There was no like Papago.
Really?
It was-
Not even Papago?
There was
I said Ramen Papago.
Google Translate, but it wasn't the same technology it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like it
Makes
was
sense.
literally like you had to type the word and translate. That's all. There's now you could just scan the picture and it will just translate everything that you need. But like 10 years, that wasn't a thing 10 years ago.
Okay. So that's one of the things that has been a change from when you first got here to now. Is just that accessibility and technology. And,
It's come a long way, yeah.
Yeah. I think I came in the good era.
It's come a long way.
What's one piece of advice you would give someone who is thinking of moving to Korea? Like before they move, what should they do?
I'd say try to at least learn the Korean alphabet. At least like try to read the words. It's kind of the opposite. Like I tell my students, English is hard. English is hard. It's the same way with new teachers coming. Korean is hard. It's gonna not click. So at least try and make an effort to try to like read the language and like know some of the words when you're coming. At least the basics.
So do you have any tips for people trying to learn Korean?
The same that I tell.
Something helped you.
The same thing I tell my students. You have to be not willing to like make mistakes.
Be open to it.
Be open to it. Because when I speak Korean, and I think a lot of my friends say that too,
I'm scared to make mistakes.
I don't care.
I'm scared to make mistakes.
I don't care when I speak Korean. I will say it, and then if it's wrong, I'll learn from that, and then I'll fix my mistake.
My kids laugh at my Korean.
I don't.
My students will laugh, but they're like, "It's okay, teacher. We know what you meant."
I recently hung out with my old co-teacher, and the same day I was talking to my current co-teacher, and I had a business trip Friday.
Yeah.
And so they were putting my phone number in our system, and instead of saying my phone number, you say it in the Korean has two different number systems.
Yeah.
Instead of saying ir for one, I said hana. And then my other co-teacher was, even you know how to change the number so it's easier for people to decipher what you're saying. I picked that up from my old co-teacher. I would always say my phone number ir, and she would repeat it back to me, hana, instead, which they both mean one. But it's something that I thought, this is how Koreans say it. This is how it's. I should change the way that I say it. So I just pick it up that way. There's no wrong way in saying it. It's just that, this makes more sense. This is how Koreans say it.
Yeah, I will be like il I sam sa, like I will say those numbers, and then the kids will be like, okay, but they won't tell me that I'm saying the wrong number for the wrong thing. But my teachers will. My teachers will be like, yeah, the kids are just happy to understand me, whereas the teachers are like, we use hana do set for that. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you have to be I'm not saying, but you have to be like fearless. I'm gonna make mistakes speaking. It's not your mother tongue. It's not something that it's picked up easily, but you can't be scared of making mistakes. And I think that's the biggest fear that people learning a new language is.
Easily.
Definitely. But especially at a cafe, I'm never gonna see this person again. At a restaurant, I'm never gonna see. I don't care. I honestly, which everyone, all my friends say too. I don't care. I will just speak, and if they don't understand, I'll say it again, and then okay.
Yeah. What are some essential phrases or important phrases that people should know in Korean? Like ones that if you're coming here to travel, for example, like, hey, these might be some helpful phrases to know, in your opinion.
Korean has formal and informal speech. And if you always want to be polite, you never want to offend someone. So even if you've studied like the root word, you always want to attach yo to the end.
Okay.
So like, just like saying hello, you could say to because if you see someone else, hi, how are you? It's fine, but you can't go 안녕 to someone that you just met on the streets. You would have to do it the more formal way that has the yo, like 안녕하세요. You have to add the yo. Or if you're not sure, always add the yo to your sentence at the end of the thing.
Because that's just the more polite way.
It's the polite way of saying it.
Like sometimes I'll catch myself and I'll say 안녕, and I'm like, oh wait, I'm sorry, 안녕하세요. Like because I feel bad. I'm using it like how we would say hey.
Yeah,
right?
Same as we say hey, 안녕.
And I forget like, you are the hierarchy. You're older than me. Da 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 da. But then I've had some Korean teachers come up to me and be like, Ali, please say the less formal, casual version of this word. And sometimes I don't remember, like, thank you. I can never remember the casual version of thank you. I always go 감사합니다. And I remember a teacher strictly telling me, like, it's okay to say 고마워요.
고마워요.
Yeah.
So this is the same thing. 감사합니다 is part of the more formal part. 고마워요, the one that Ali's talking about, is a little bit more friendly. But you could just say 고마워, but to make it more formal, depending on this, like 고마워요. You just add the yo at the end.
Add yo to everything.
And then yo, or even more simple, like no, like 아니. You would never say 아니 to someone that you don't know. 아니요. You just add the yo to the end. It makes you seem more knowledgeable too, and it's more polite, and you're keeping like manners.
Yeah, it's just to be respectful and polite. It's rather, I would say, go from that mindset. Let's be polite, and if they tell you, hey, you can drop that, or we can speak more casually because you've gotten closer to that person, then follow that suit. But you always want to start with the most polite saying as you can, just to not offend anybody and to show that respect.
Yes, because you could learn. It's hard. I don't know all the formal words, but you can learn by learning the root words and just remembering to do the yo version of it, and you'll be fine.
So you said you wanted to bring hot Cheetos back from America to here, right? What are some items when you first moved to Korea that you either wish you brought more of, or you didn't need and you brought too much of?
First came to Korea, or when I go home every year too.
Yes.
So what are the essential stuff I bring back now, or the stuff that I did when I first came in Korea?
Let's go with both. Go with whichever one comes to your head first.
I always bring my snacks. It doesn't matter. Korean snacks are very sweet.
Yeah, they add sugar to everything.
They're very sweet. So if you're craving like the salty kind of like snacks that we have back home,
like don't get Doritos here. You'll be disappointed.
It's not a thing here. So like snacks, and I bring back. What do I bring back?
Hot Cheetos.
I
brought in these hot Cheetos.
I always bring back these. Oh, beauty products. A lot of the products. I'm considered a little bit more of a dark skin tone for Koreans. So I cannot find like foundation. I can't find anything along that. So, and makeup here is very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's all the same color. It's a lot of pink. It's a lot of peach. It's a lot of reds. It's not more of the warm,
like a red tint.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for that, if you like something more vibrant,
you're not gonna find it
you
here.
have to bring that from. You have to bring that back from home too. I think in the most recent years, because coupon has been more accessible to get everything that we need, I only bring snacks home. Like when I come home, I only bring snacks. I bring the hot Cheetos is always on my list. Hot Cheetos, or like Cheez-Its, or Goldfishes, or even like Oreos, because Oreos back home has like the double stuff.
Oh yeah, and the different flavors.
Right, I do that stuff too. But like when I go home to the States, I bring snacks for my family too. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I had to bring a whole bunch of Korean snacks over to my family.
I bring a whole bunch of the Korean snacks.
It keeps getting added.
Right, it's the same thing. But accessibility now, I think because of Coupang, it has everything that you need that you could find.
Yeah, Coupang is basically like the Korean Amazon.
Yes.
Prime.
Yes.
I would say Amazon Prime. Like, the delivery is no joke. It is next day if they tell you it's next day.
We have a
couple hours.
We have a coupon warehouse in our city.
Oh, you do?
We do here in our city.
Ah, okay.
But
I didn't mention what city we are.
Oh, that's why I didn't say it. I didn't say it. For safety. In our city, so if we order in the morning before 10 a.m., it is here
by like
when we get off of work at 4.
Yeah, easily.
So it's here. It's very accessible. It's very next day delivered. And if you don't get it, if you're part of the Prime version of Amazon,
it's like $5.
It's like
5,000 won.
It's gone up.
It's gone up.
Yeah, it's gone up a little bit. It's like 9,000 won or something like that. I have to check.
Either way, it's worth it.
So it's guaranteed delivery the next day or day of, depending on the time. And if they don't do it for whatever reason, you get, I think it's like 1,000, 2,000 won like credit.
Oh, okay.
So they give you credit for like being able to deliver it on the day. It's much better than Amazon, I think.
Oh yeah, I love it more than Amazon. It's a lot for sure. Yeah.
But yeah.
It's good service. So if you're ever moving to Korea, because not if you're traveling, if you're moving to Korea, Coupang is one of those things you're going to want to make sure you download the app, make an account, and be ready to be broke.
But I think even if you're traveling to Korea, because they have the food delivery too.
You can do the food, but don't you need the bank account and everything all set up for delivery when it comes to buying items?
I have no idea. Everything set. I have everything set up.
Sorry, guys. What are some do's and don'ts for people traveling to Korea? Like, maybe you shouldn't do that here. Or, yeah, this is what to be expected when traveling. We're talking about tourism.
I guess transportation-wise,
Okay.
the subways, you're gonna experience the older generation being a little more aggressive. Is the word I'm looking for?
Okay.
Aggressive than what you're expected. Like you're used to. Like,
Oh, yeah. Them trying to get on the train. They will run your feet over with their little push carts.
it's a very like go 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 culture, and I think that's just what they've been used to. So even if there's a line to get on or get off, they're gonna push their way through.
Oh yeah, the older generation.
The older generation is gonna push their way through, and it's something that you kind of just have to like accept. It's not something like you pick a fight about.
Yeah,
you just kind of accept it, and they're gone, and then that's fine. But there's no line. There's a line, but there's no line.
For them, I feel like everyone else kind of follows the line a little bit.
But I think with the older generation, you see it there. But like the younger generation too, doesn't really wait, but not as much as like, the older. Oh, I don't know. That's something that I can't get used to, and I've been here for 10 years.
Yeah.
I wait every single time. I wait to get on. I wait to get off. I let people who have bags go first. I'll hold doors open.
Holding doors open.
I'll hold doors open. I'll say thank you.
Too.
I'll do everything. But I think it's the older generation is very much like go 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 go. The younger generation's a little bit better, but still very much like go go go. Like culture there.
Yeah.
So I think that's transportation is something that like you'll be like used to. That you'll be like shocked about. Like getting on like buses, getting on the subways, getting like from place to place. It's a little bit like more like go 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 like situations.
Also, just keep in mind when you're going on a subway, if you're going on a bus, there's going to be some seats that are directly for people who are elderly, people who are pregnant, people who are disabled. Try your best not to sit in those seats unless the bus is like empty. But even then, you shouldn't really sit there just out of respect. Those seats are going to be saved for those people. You can sit there. But once you see someone that is falling in that description.
If someone gets on that is elderly, who is pregnant, you just get up and offer your seat to that person.
So just keep in mind, like, again, older generations have their own set of rules. And you'll see on the subway that this, there'll be a pregnant seat, for example. It's bright pink. No one sits in that seat ever, except for pregnant ladies or old ladies. And you'll just see a 40-year-old businessman just sit there.
Everyone sits there.
But on the flip side, if a foreigner sits there, I've seen a foreigner sit down and then there's stairs. And I'm like, wait. 2 stops ago, it was homeboy who was a 40-year-old man sitting there, and y'all didn't stare.
In Korea, if you are pregnant, those seats are designated for you. You go to the hospital and you get, what's the word I'm looking for? Assigned. There's a keychain you put on your purse that says that you're a pregnant person. So that you don't have to tell people, yo, look, I'm pregnant. I need this seat. Like, they see this keychain. It's pink, and it has a woman, character that she's pregnant, and it says that I'm a pregnant person.
I didn't know that.
So that they could attach it to their bags when they travel somewhere.
Yeah.
And so, like, if they're on the subway, she's like, excuse me, can you stand up? But they're not, like, showing yet.
Yeah.
I'm, like, I need to sit down. And so, like, they'll just, like, see the keychain and, like, get up and so that they can sit there.
Oh, okay.
Which is nice.
That is nice. That's a better way of, like, not having to deal with, like...
I don't know how well it works. I know that it exists, but I don't know how well... I've never seen it, like, in action. I've never actually seen... I know it exists, but I just never seen it in action. But I think that's one thing, like, don't expect to, like... not get pushed.
Yeah, they throw little elbows in there. But also at the same token, they are some of the sweetest and funniest people. Just old people in general are just interesting beings, okay? And in Korea, you just gotta adjust because personal space sometimes doesn't exist for them.
What personal space? There's no personal space. You're one-on-one with whoever you want to want or don't want to be with.
So yeah. That's our little tidbit on the do's and don'ts.
Yeah.
Also, maybe don't be really loud on public transportation. Now, like having a small conversation at a like lower volume you're okay. I'm not saying
You
they're
can have
deadly.
conversations, but
They're not
like,
deadly quiet, but don't be doing.
If especially there's a lot of people are like whispering. Even though there's a lot of people, there's no like.
The only ones you hear loud, I feel like, are like the teenagers sometimes, and like the old people who get a phone call on the bus.
Yes.
Those are the only two groups. If you're between the ages of like 50 to like 18, they're usually quiet.
Me too. I would also say don't expect everyone to speak English.
Yeah.
Even like if you're traveling in Seoul, or like if you're going down to Busan, or like if you're
Start
going
with
to
Korean, and then if you don't know, then use technology. If that doesn't work, speak a little English. They will open up and speak with you if they have that skill set. But some of them will be like, I can't speak English. Please wait. And they'll find someone, or they'll take out their phone. So yeah.
Yeah, but don't expect everyone to speak English just because there's a lot of English signs, but they don't speak English at all.
Yeah. That is a good tip to give,
everyone to, like,
when traveling. English. Especially if you're going outside of Seoul. If you're going outside of Seoul.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we are both teachers, and you teach at an elementary school.
Yes.
And I teach at a middle school and high school. So, what is your typical day like teaching English? And what do future teachers, what can they expect if they're trying to join like the EPIC program or something?
If you do decide to join EPIC or apply for EPIC, you teach a total of 22 hours a week, so 22 classes depending on your schedule where it is. Elementary is 40 minutes, middle school is 45, and high school is 50 minutes. So I am currently actually at 23 classes. I do an extra hour, but it's the same lesson. It's just that I can see that grade all the students together. So it's just one extra hour, but it's the same lesson.
You get paid the OT.
I get paid the OT. So if you do get that, your school approaches you for that, you do get paid extra for anything over 22 hours. And I think it's $25 an hour for each class.
After that point,
after the class, I think we start later than middle school and high school.
Yeah, because my school starts at 8:20.
I leave home at 8:20.
Must be nice.
I leave home at 8:20. School starts. First period starts at 8:50.
Ours start at 8:40. First period, but the kids have to be there by 8:20 for homeroom.
My kids have to be there by 8:30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my kids have to be there at 8:30. Some elementary schools start at 9, depending on the school's schedule. Between 8:50 and 9 o'clock, that's when first period starts.
Okay.
Depending on the school, but my school starts at 8:50.
Do you eat lunch at school?
I do have lunch at school.
How's your school lunch?
My school lunch is delicious.
Good.
Tell you right now, we had lobster tails.
What?
We had lobster tails, I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
And
you
then
fancy.
next week, we have lamb chops. Lamb chops and mashed potatoes.
Nice.
Yesterday, we had a cheese tonkatsu. It was like this big.
We had cheese donkas?
It was filled with cheese. It just that cheese
whole.
That was for lunch yesterday. The school lunch is thing.
It's really good, and it's really balanced. At your school, do you get to choose what you want? Like, do you serve yourself, or is it them serving you? Because in mine, I serve myself, so it's whatever I wanna do.
No, because I have elementary first graders, and if we serve ourselves, my first graders are only eating the cheese tonkatsu and some rice.
Yeah.
They're not getting the soup. They're not getting any of the veggies. They're not getting any of that. So but the lunch leaders, they see that it's a teacher, so they give us like the teacher portion.
Okay.
Which is huge.
Yeah.
But it's pretty balanced. There's always some kind of rice, but it's not always like the same rice. Like we'll have mixed grain rice. We'll have brown rice. We'll have yesterday there was corn in our rice.
There's corn in everything.
That's a different story. And then you'll have some kind of hot soup.
Yeah.
You'll have some kind of veggies and some kind of protein, and then some kind of dessert.
Yeah.
Yesterday we had, what did we have yesterday? We had juice. We had juice boxes.
I don't even know what I had yesterday. I was so like blah that I don't remember. I know I had rice and meats of some kind, but I can't recall. Not at all. Not at all.
I think too, but for the most part, my schedule is that I have fifth period every day, so my classes are until fifth period. There's no sixth period, just the way that my schedule works. So I have lunch and then I have fifth period and I'm done for the rest of the day.
You're just planning at that point.
I'm lesson planning. I'm lesson planning or what? But until time to get off.
When do you get off of school?
4:30.
4:30. Okay. So you start at 8:30 and you end at 4:30.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. What's a memorable moment with your students, or what's like a funny moment with one of your students? Because you have elementary, so I'm assuming you got a lot.
I recently cut my bangs.
Yeah.
Like last week. I'm also a little bit on the older side. I'm 35, and I walk in my kids there always like, teacher, why are you so cute? Excuse me. Excuse me, teacher, you cut your hair, and I'll tell them, no, I didn't cut my hair. But you didn't look like that yesterday. You didn't look like that yesterday. But my kids they are very observative.
Yeah.
Especially but the most recent thing, I just cut my bangs, and they're like, teacher, why are you so cute? You look like a high school student. Stop it. Stop it right now. There's no reason for you to stop, but it's true, teacher.
I just saw some of my last year students who are now in high school. They came to visit, and they were all of a sudden here, "Oh, teacher," and I'm like, "Wait, what are you doing here?" And they're like, "Oh, we finished school, so we came to visit." And I said, "You came on the wrong day, because it just happened that all the teachers were on business trips, except for like me and like admin." So I was like, you may be able to catch some second grade teachers still, because the kids just had their exams. So I was like, you may be able to catch them, but second and first grade teachers also might have just dipped. And they were like, "Okay, thank you, teacher." They're like, "Wait, where's like this teacher?" And I'm like, "They're on the 4th floor. You better run to catch them." But yeah, it's cool seeing those moments of like some of my older kids coming back and visiting and actually being excited to see me. Some of them hated English, but they're happy to see me. So I was like, yeah, victory.
I want to say like my biggest flex is that I know all my 6th graders' names. Oh. I know every one of my 6th graders' name because I've been their teacher for 4 years.
Yeah, because you had them in 3rd grade.
So I had them in 3rd grade all the way to 6th grade. I know every single one of things, and I think that really builds a rapport with my students that I could call them out when they're doing something. Mm-hmm. I could call them out by their name instead of saying like, "Hey, you, what are you doing?"
Oh yeah, I'll say I know a few kids' names, but the names I know,
there's a reason you know those.
They never hear. I'm like, come here. Yeah.
When my students say, like, my friend goes to so and so school, but their English teacher doesn't know their name. Teacher, how do you know our names? Especially like the younger kids. I know. I teach 3rd to 4th grade. 3rd to 6th grade. Mm-hmm. I know a few, like a handful of the 3rd graders. Mm-hmm. I probably know half of the 4th graders. Mm-hmm. And I'm missing like 10% of my 5th graders. But like the kids, I know everyone's face.
I know faces. But I suck with names regardless of if you're like my student or not. Like I'm just horrible with names. But I can place your face and be like, "Oh yeah, I remember you. I remember you wearing this, that, and the third."
But knowing like my 6th grade, like all my 6th graders' names,
that's a flex. Yeah, that's good.
It makes the kids feel special in their own way because a lot of the other subject teachers don't know all their students' names. They can, but they don't.
Yeah.
But I know all my 6th graders, and ask me again next year when they graduate. I'll probably forget all their names. But right now, because I see them every single day, I see them twice a week. I see my 6th graders twice a week, versus my other grades I see once a week.
Yeah. I'm gonna try next year to learn some of their names. I know more names now than I did before we like started the school year. Like I learned their names throughout the year, and I've been calling them out consistently. I just found out, fun fact, that in my school, in my 3rd grade, middle school, I have 5 sets of twins, and and they're all stretched within different classes. And I was like, I thought I was going crazy at one point because I was like, you look like so and so, but like you're not in that class. Come to find out, there's 5 sets of twins. And I wasn't the only teacher that just found out. My other English teacher was like, yeah, I just found that out too. I was like, what? And then the kids just found that hilarious that I didn't know. And I was like, I thought I was going crazy. Because like, you look like so-and-so, but not exactly. Because they're like one set of boys and the rest are like set of girls. And like, some of them are so far apart from each other, like personality-wise, completely different human, right? Which is understandable. You're 2 different humans. But like, their style and how they dress themselves is also different. And then I had to really look at their features on like, because we got the pictures with their student names, and I was like, that is, wow, okay.
We have those too, the pictures
But they look like
names.
From elementary, so it's very hard to judge a 3rd grade middle schooler from their 6th grade picture.
So ours
basically.
so my 6th graders, we have those too. But it's when they first enter our school in 1st grade.
Yeah.
So they're babies, and then I'm just like, you see the same features, but you don't see the same features.
Yeah, same thing. So the pictures we get are from when they first entered middle school.
Yeah, so
their first year,
years.
which is basically their 6th grade look. Whatever they looked like in elementary, their last year is what they're going to look like in this picture. Because when I compare it to the 6'2" middle schooler, and I'm like, he had the chubby cheeks, and now it's all slimmed down, I'm like, this is you? The only reason I catch that is you both wearing glasses. But yeah, that's having the students. It's always fun. I always love seeing them grow too. It's great. That's like the best feeling I think about with teaching them is seeing like the growth or the confidence.
Yeah, because I feel like I've been there for so long, and I've been in the same neighborhood for so long. I see the kids in middle school too, and I see the kids in high school too. And you still see, like, some of, like, their baby features are there. But I'm just like, wait, can you tell me your name again and when you graduated?
Oh, man. So, you've lived in rural areas. I've lived in rural areas. So I'm going to ask you this question of, what is the difference in living in a rural South Korea and what is the difference from living, like, the city life in South Korea?
I think living in the rural area... it's just what's available to you. Accessibility. Like living more in like a city area, even like the trains going places, there's more trains to go. Korea has 3 train systems: the really slow train, the medium speed train, and then the high speed train. There's no way a high speed train is stopping in the middle of nowhere.
Nope.
There's nowhere stopping there. It's just being able to get
to other places.
Other places, that is a factor too, depending on where you live. Even like the markets. Right now in our city, we have a lot of like Asia marts. That's what they call it. And so, at least I can find a lot of the spices that like I grew up eating. So I can find like a lot of the Thai spices and the foods there. That's not available in the countryside. Oh no. Because there's an influx of other foreigners coming into our cities, and so they bring their businesses with them too. Let's see. Countryside. Being the only foreigner.
Yeah, that... when I came here, I was in my own culture shock from moving. I was like, hey, Maysa. And then you're like, yeah, there's like 10 of us. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I think in our current city, there's maybe like 10 of us. Yeah. 10 to like 15-ish. Yeah. Depending on...
and that's not even counting all the people who are independent, like in private... teachers too, and university teachers as well.
I think the epic teachers, there's maybe like 10 to 15 of us in our city. When you're in the countryside, maybe there's like 3 of you. If that. There's like 3 of you, and you guys may not even like live close by, but you guys are in the same city, technically, but you guys aren't in the same neighborhood. So being quite isolated in the countryside is a thing.
Yeah, I didn't realize how... well, I kept traveling and meeting my intake class. Like, on the weekends, we'd all plan to meet up somewhere. But once I moved here, I was like, wow. I was really isolated in my little rural life. But it was definitely... It helped me grow.
it takes it takes you to like realize like, yo, if I'm just gonna stay here, I'm gonna go crazy. Like,
you learn what you like and what you don't like and what you need real quick.
Yeah.
Because I was always debating because I love my students in my rule. Like I love
but the
my
rural students are
they're
the
so great.
sweetest
Sweetest
kids.
ones. And I loved my students and I loved my teachers. But it was just like my day-to-day life. I was like, I need a change, you know? And that's when I made the change. And I don't regret it one bit. But I do wish I could go back and like visit them. But it's just further than I can do.
I mean, like, now, like, once you get off of work, or like,
by the time I would have gotten there, yeah.
Like, if you're in the countryside, you finished work, depending on where you're there's no way you're at one school. You're at multiple schools in the countryside.
Yeah, I had 5.
There's no way. My most was 3 at one point.
You had 3? Oh, okay.
3, but like my farthest school to like where I lived in the city to commute home sometime. In the contract, it says that you would commute up to an hour to get to your schools. Mm-hmm. That's what it's stated, that you will agree to commute within an hour of school. So if you have the farthest school and the commute is an hour, by the time you get back home, that's 5:30. But you already commuted for an hour. What gives you the energy to go and do something?
Yeah. And then also transportation out into like the next big city is not going to be coming back late. They might have like an 8 o'clock return time or 7 o'clock return time. And you're going to be pressed to make that last bus because, you know, after that, there might not even be taxis for you to take unless you find one randomly on the street. Like you might be stuck.
So living in the countryside, like if you don't have like your core people, it's going to be rough.
That is true. Let's talk about the cost of living. Now, let's talk about the cost of living in your current situation. Okay. Current situation. Like, how much is your rent, if you don't mind, electricity, gas, those sort of things? And
let's check right now.
How did you find your apartment? Because this wasn't one that was provided by your school. So, how did you find your apartment? And did you find any challenges as a foreigner getting a housing contract?
So with Epic provides you with housing. Mm-hmm. I think they just increased it to 500,000 won. Yeah. 500,000 won. But if Epic finds your housing for you, they're also supposed to provide you with basic living necessities. Mm-hmm. That includes a bed. Yep. A refrigerator, a washer,
and a wardrobe or closet of some kind,
and a chair and a desk. Yeah. I remember my first year too. They're like, it says that we have to give you a chair, so they just bought me a random chair. But there was like this island thing in my apartment, my first apartment, so that counted as my desk. But like they're like, it says that we have to give you a chair, so we're gonna give you a chair. Yeah. So they just gave you a chair.
My very first house was actually set up very nicely in my rural town. I had a queen size bed because the guy before me was the 6-foot guy, so I had a nice queen size bed. I had a gamer desk and a gamer chair. I wish I would have took that with me, but technically the school bought it, so I couldn't take it with me. And then moving into this apartment, they were like, "We got you a folding table from the lobby. Here you go." So
you could get that situation, or it's very much like...
And, like, the chair was, like, the same chair the students sit on, so that's what I have right now. But I have a bed. That's the essentials, right? I got the bed, I got the washer.
My second school, I moved into another Epic Teachers thing, and then my second school, they had bought that Epic Teacher microwave, and then I lived there for... I think I was in that apartment for 2 years, and I was moving out again, because I was relocated, and... They're like, "Oh, we bought the microwave. We're going to take it back now." I was like, "But I still have 3 weeks on this contract." They took before I finished the contract, they're like, "Well, we need a new microwave in the teacher's office. So you're taking my microwave?"
They're like, "So long, farewell."
But they took my microwave and they took like my vacuum because they had bought it for the Epic Teacher before me.
They took the vacuum.
And they took a whole bunch of other stuff that they had bought for the Epic Teacher before me, but I was still living there. I had another 3 weeks on the contract. I had another 3 weeks on, but you could get those situations too. But my current place, I found this place on one of the real estate apps.
Okay. Do you know the name of it?
Jipbang, I think it is. Okay. Jipbang. But I had my co-teacher at the time go with me to look at houses.
Oh, that's nice.
We looked at a few places. This place, the selling point, I think, is I like to cook. I like to bake. I like to invite friends over. And it's very... what's the word I'm looking for? Very homey?
Yeah.
Very homey. I have a large kitchen area. And it's nice for people to come over and...
in the States, it's basically like you got a 1-bedroom apartment.
Basically.
Which is kind of hard in Korea at a good price range, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I, because I found the apartment on my own, my school's name is not on the lease. So I had to pay the deposit.
You have to do key money or no?
Yeah, I had to do key money for it. I had to pay the deposit.
Is that the same thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
How much was that?
20 million?
One?
Yeah.
Right before you get the keys, you have to pay that first?
Yes. And so my rent is 400 a month.
Okay.
And so the 500 the school sends to me. But then this was when the rent was, our allowance was only 400.
So, yeah.
Our allowance went up, and so I got my deposit back in the school. The lease transferred to my school's name, and so I got my deposit back, and so the rent went up because I took back the deposit, so the rent went up to 500,000 a month. So now the school pays for that part.
Oh, they pay for the...
Yeah, so I don't have there's no deposit in my apartment right now. There's no seed money. So I've already got that back.
Oh, okay.
So I've already gotten that back. So the school just pays. So the rent went up because there's no seed money. So the main reason why the deposit is an arm and a leg, because as Ali's reaction was before, the main reason why it's an arm and a leg is because, what's the word I'm looking for? Landlords, they're worried that people are just gonna jump out. That is the main reason that they make it so high.
Okay, to secure it.
Yeah, and so rent is fairly cheap, depending on where you are too. Rent is fairly cheap, but because our situation is the money's coming from school, they often waive the
fee
deposit.
Yeah,
so there's a thing too, but that's how much my apartment is. And electric and gas last month was a grand whopping $20.
Yeah. And obviously, depending on if you're winter or summer, those things are going to switch, right? Like your gas will probably be higher in winter than it would be in the summer. And in summer, your electricity will probably be higher than your gas.
But this winter has been significantly warmer than the past winters. So I haven't used my floor heating as often.
I have
not.
I'm already internally regretting the bill that's going to come my way. I already know.
I honestly only turn it on when people come over.
Yeah. Mine's just... There's no insulation in my unit, so it's just, like, cold.
Which makes sense, too.
Yeah.
But that's how much I paid? That's how much I pay monthly?
So about $420.
Oh, it's 5...
Or $520?
$520.
So 520,000 won?
Yes.
So, right, about $500 USD?
So about give or take.
Yeah, give or take. So, yeah, that's not bad, you know.
Or thing, but the school takes care of the rent. I pay gas and electricity.
Yeah.
I also pay water.
You pay water?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the difference between both of us here. I don't pay for water. I pay for electricity and gas. My school takes care of the rent.
Water is a whopping $2, though.
Oh, okay.
But there was this random charge on my account one day, and I was just like, "What is this?" I was like, "Oh, it's water."
Oh, okay.
It's water.
Okay.
But that was really random. I didn't always pay for that. It was added recently.
How's grocery shopping here in Korea? Since you are the chef of the friend group, how would you...
Fruits and vegetables, everything. I think growing up from LA, everything's accessible. So I didn't realize what fruits and veggies are seasonal.
Yeah. I learned that real quick in Korea.
I didn't realize what was seasonal. So, like, strawberries seasons right now.
Yeah.
You can't eat strawberries all year round. What do you mean you can't eat strawberries all year round?
Yeah, watermelon is in the summertime.
Right? I didn't realize that was a thing. A lot of their fruits are imported, which makes it a lot more expensive. But on an average grocery run, a weekly grocery run, I pay between, I want to say 50 to 70.
1,000.
Yeah, 50 to 70,000. Depending, like, if I'm going out this week, if I have plans, or if I'm gonna stay home this week, my grocery run is a little bit more expensive. But like, if I know I'm going out, like if I have like staff dinner,
Yeah.
I won't buy as much like food, so it's a little bit cheaper. But I want to say on average between 50 to 70 a week,
Yeah.
which isn't bad.
That's not bad.
57 in a week,
Yeah.
and I'm buying.
I do that just by eating out.
That's a different story. That's a different story.
I mean, it's the same thing. It's food intake.
That's a different story. A week?
I mean, I just had Subway today, and that was like 13,000 won. I ordered food yesterday, that was 8,000 won. So, like, let's say we stay in that track, then that's like 21 every 2 days. So, yeah, probably. Close. That's where my money goes. That's why when you said 20 million, I said, you know how much food I can get with that?
I'm going to tell you guys.
Oh, man. So, you came here to Korea without knowing anybody, right? You moved, or did you move with a friend?
I knew someone that was, where was she placed? I had a family friend that she was placed in Pohang,
Okay.
but she worked in a Hagwon.
Okay.
But when I was coming into Korea, she was leaving Korea.
Okay.
So, like, our paths, like, never crossed. But, like, leading up to coming to Korea, I asked her a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Like, what should I bring? What do I need? Like, type of questions. But other than that,
I had the same situation. I had a friend leaving, and I was coming in. She was in Daegu for like four years.
okay.
And I was just like, hey, what should I expect, this and that? And then also it was weird because I was going during COVID, so she really was not sure how it was going to go for me.
No one knew what was going on.
No one knew
there.
at that time, you know? And so she was just like, this is what I used to do. And, you know, my experience was completely different than her intake. Like, we had quarantine involved. You know, we didn't go right into orientation, so... Yeah, but how do you make friends living in Korea? And second part of that question is, how do you make Korean friends?
I think a lot of the friends that Korean friends, or what do we want to do first?
And foreigners. How do you make friends with other foreigners?
I think...
And then how do you...
I'm very much of a... What's a nice way to put it? A busybody? I really like to know, like...
What's going on?
Yeah. So, like, when there's a new, like, we just had the new... My intake just got their renewal.
Yeah.
So everyone just got their new placements, or they got their renewal to their new school. I'm already on that. Who is at what school? Who is going to what school? Who's coming to our city? Who's leaving our city? I already know that.
Oh, you need to give me the tea.
I already know that. But for the most part, I used to do it. I haven't done it
In a while,
often.
yeah.
But I used to do a meetup with the new teachers, so that they could come and it's like, this is who's in our city.
Yeah.
This is who's in our city. If you click with someone, just
Cool.
like, it's cool. You can hang out with someone. Like, so and so lives on the street from so and so. It's nice if you guys just like. It's nice to have someone in the same neighborhood, not just the same city.
Yeah.
So that, like,
I'm blessed to have her.
I don't want to cook. Do you want to grab dinner?
Yeah.
Or like, it's too hot. Let's go get ice cream. It's nice to have someone in the same city that you could do that with. So I used to do it. I haven't done it in a while. But a meetup with the teachers in our area, in our city. And we just kind of like talk and say, okay, we'll meet up again. We used to do it like once a month.
Yeah.
But that's how, like, we would meet other foreigners. Other epic teachers.
Yeah.
Other epic teachers. Also the stuff that, like, the Office of Education, like, sets up.
Yeah, those, like, special events. It's a great way to, like, network and be like, oh, where are you from? Oh, cool. Like, what city are you located in? And then you're just like, wait, we're in the same city?
So we have that, too. Or, like, we have the, that's for, like, the people in the same, like, province, like, type of things. But, like, we have stuff, like, within, like, our city, too, that we, like, go to. And then you can meet, like, other teachers from the same school, which is another way to do that. But if you want to make, like, other epic friends. But
you just got to get connected.
All my friends are epic.
Yeah, mine are a mixture of Hagwon. Hagwon is, like, private school teachers. So I got Hagwon friends, but a majority are epic friends. And then I got a sprinkle of military friends.
Which she made through softball.
I made through softball. So, like, I got involved in that way. So it just, like, everyone has their own way of doing it. I would just say, I think the advice we're both giving is just get involved You got to put yourself out there.
Like, if you get an invite, especially if you're new, if you get an invite, like, hey,
Just
look,
go.
there's a party happening on, there's, like, a dinner happening, do you guys want to come? You can go one time, but if you don't like these people, don't go again. I'm not telling you to go and don't.
If you don't vibe, then you don't vibe, and just leave it at that.
Go again, because Epic attracts some weirdos. I've been here for 10 years, I know.
Oh, man.
You could totally just go and meet and see if there's someone that, like,
just meshes with you.
Yeah. If there's not, then you don't have to ever see that person. The same thing, speaking Korean, you're never going to see this person again. You're never going to see this person again. And I think that's the thing, too. And then my Korean friends are also all the teachers.
Are all teachers, yeah, the Korean teachers, yeah.
Like, my co-teachers are, like, my friends, too. Or, I did Pilates, and I did, like, PT and stuff like that, too. I'm really close to, like, my Pilates instructor. Which was nice too. And then, but I think when you do like those stuff, you take these classes, you meet other Korean people. They're scared of talking to you because you don't speak Korean.
They're not scared to talk to you. They're scared to talk to me, okay? Because I cannot speak Korean. But I think the one thing that's helped me is I still just love to interact with people, love to say hi. I'm a chatterbox. And so I will talk to them and ask them how their day is every single time I meet them. And to the point where they're like, Allie, where have you been? You know, like, I haven't seen you in a while. And they'll start to talk to me, and I think that helps break the ice. Yeah. Because sometimes, like, I'm in my head, they're my friends. I don't know in real life if they're my friends, but in my head, they're not. But in my head, they're my friends. Like, the people at the cafes that, you know, the ones I kind of go to and talk to on the regular. She did say hi to me at the gym, so, you know, we are on friendship level. But I just try to get involved, or like maybe a friend of a friend. Yeah. You know, if it's like someone's friend and they're Korean, I'll just introduce myself and talk to them, and I'll go on Papago and just crack a joke. Or like sometimes if foreigners were talking and we're going too quickly, I'll summarize what we're saying and show it to the person. And I've had a couple Korean people like just say, "Oh, thanks for telling me what the heck's going on." Like, and then like the whole night we're just cool, we're vibing, we're just chatting and like hanging out. But I think it's like breaking that ice is like the first step to making friends.
You're out at night? I'm not out at night.
I'm not out that much though.
I'm not out at all.
So I guess like just know that they might be nervous when talking to you because you are a foreigner and they might not speak your language. But if you can make that extra step to make them feel comfortable, then like you might get a friendship out of it. I've had friends, but same thing, Korean teachers, where we went out and had dinner and I met their boyfriend and la la la, and you know it was cool. It was a good moment, and I was like, wow, this is great. So it just depends on you trying to take that
effort, how to
make the effort, yeah. And if it meshes, sometimes people you don't mesh, and that's okay, you know.
Like I'm going to Japan with my co-teacher in February.
Did you guys going to Tokyo, right?
We are not. We are going...
Osaka?
No, we are going...
Where?
Where are we going?
Where are we going? Sorry, Dora the Explorer.
We're going
Kyoto?
south? No.
Hiroshima?
No.
I don't know.
I don't remember where we went. We're going somewhere.
They're going somewhere.
We're going
okay.
somewhere. I went with my co-teacher.
Another question for you. Something you have experience in. How is dating in Korea as a foreigner? And what are some differences you notice dating here compared to back home?
That is a whole different story.
Not details, but generally speaking, how...
Korean, My boyfriend is also Korean, so but dating in Korea is you have to weed out the good ones. I want to say a lot of I don't want to stereotypical. There's a lot of Korean guys that are very much F-boys.
Yeah, especially being a foreigner.
Yes, that's very much thing, and I can tell you the red flags for if you're looking not what you're looking for. If a Korean guy asks you,
ooh, let's go through the red flags.
Another thing too. I just want to study English. I'm sorry, I don't have Kakao. Do you have line?
It's a lie.
If he tells you he doesn't have Kakao, that's very much
he's hiding a girlfriend.
He's hiding a girlfriend or a wife or baby or something. He's hiding something. I don't have Kakao or anything. You know, I just want to, like, relax. Do you want to go back to my place?
Have ramen.
Do you live alone?
Yeah, that question.
Do you live alone? That's something that they ask all the time too. It's very much thing. Or what's another one? It's been a while. You could just call me oppa. You could just call me oppa. Oh,
Flashbacks.
there's a guy that a long time ago that I had matched on with a dating site before. We went on the first date and it didn't work. It just didn't click.
Match,
It didn't click. So we unmatched each other.
Yeah.
But we had switched to Kakao. Like we were talking on Kakao because we met up. So I needed his phone number and we had all that stuff. But we unmatched on the dating app.
Yeah.
And I think a few months later, his picture came back up on my dating app. But I had just seen on my Kakao that he changed his profile picture to his wedding pictures.
No.
But his exact picture was on the dating app.
Wait, the exact picture on Kakao.
Not
Wedding.
not the same exact picture, but like I know this is this guy.
Oh, you knew.
I know this is this guy.
Confirmation.
I know that it was this guy because I had met him before. And he updated his thing. I'll show you. I have the receipts.
She has receipts.
But next question is fine too. But it's
Wow. So have you noticed any differences when like dating, like the not social, I guess like the social cues of it, like dating in Korea compared to back home?
I dated like 2 guys back home. I've been here since
you've been
I
here
was
for a
20,
minute. Yeah,
24, 25. But and might be a little bit different. Can't do it exactly. Where is this?
While she's looking for that, is it okay if I go to my next question?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go to the next question. What is something that you recommend people to do when visiting South Korea? Like, is there, whether it's a historical place or an activity that you're like, oh, you must do this if you're traveling to Korea? Oh, you got the receipts. Because of privacy, we're not going to show you guys. But just know.
It was the
Same
day.
Same day. That guy had, wow. The receipts were receding, okay, guys?
Everything. Go outside of Seoul. I mean, Seoul is great.
Mm-hmm.
But I would recommend going someplace else other than Seoul. I would recommend going Gangwon-do to go to like Gangneung or Yangyang, or going south, even like Busan. Or even like in our province, I would recommend going to Gyeongju or Pohang. Or I would recommend even like if you can make a trip to Jeju.
Yeah, Jeju's nice.
Jeju's nice too.
I hope you don't have the bad luck that I have with Jeju. Every time I go, my flight gets delayed.
That's a different story too.
But it's a great place. Definitely recommend.
I would recommend just if you're short on time, Seoul's a great trip. But you don't really get to experience Korea to its full extent because it is very adapted for foreigners to come in.
It's like going to California and probably only going to Hollywood, like LA.
Yeah.
Or going to Florida and only going to Orlando or Miami, and that's the only spot you were in the whole time.
Yeah.
Like you get a different vibe depending on what cities you're visiting, and you also get like some places are very pretty with their like cultural temples, that just historical stuff, and it's just like, oh, you see it in Seoul, but like I don't know.
It's a different vibe.
It's a different vibe.
Outside of Seoul.
And people act different. It's just like any major city.
Yeah.
Right? But if you go outside of that, like, it's a different vibe. So definitely if you have the time, like if you have like a 2-week vacation, I would say maybe like 1 week in Seoul so you can get your fill of Seoul.
I mean, Seoul's a great place.
And then dip and trying to see like the different provinces.
I would highly recommend going to the other provinces, like especially if you're here during the season that you're here. If you're here during fall
or spring.
If you're here during the fall time, I recommend seeing the foliages in the Gangwon-do. I would recommend if you're here in the springtime going down south to see the cherry blossoms in Jinhae.
Yeah.
Or even if you're here during the other seasons, there's so much more prettier places that Seoul is beautiful too.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more like other places that you can see.
Would you recommend moving abroad? And how has living in Korea these last like 10 years changed you as a person?
I mean, I would recommend anyone leaving for a period of time. I would definitely recommend it. But you have to see if it's for you. I've been here for 10 years now.
Yeah.
I'm definitely like set my roots here. I have like my core group of people. I mentioned earlier, like I have my boyfriend too.
Yeah.
And like I have my work life and my home life is pretty balanced. I also have this pact with my family that I go home every year, and so I still get homesick. Home is always home, but like I always go home every year and I do nothing. To be honest, I go home and I spend the time with my parents, and I spend time with my sister.
I love that.
But I would highly recommend for anyone like trying to figure out if they want to do it, give it like a 6 month shot. But if you wanted to, Epic's a year contract anyways.
Yeah.
If you decide to join like our program, Epic's a year contract. Talk is 6 months, I think.
I don't even think Talk's around anymore.
Oh, really?
I think Talk was one of the ones that left, if I remember correctly.
Oh.
I could be wrong, but I know one of them is no longer a thing.
Oh.
I think it's Talk.
Talk. Oh. Well, just kidding about that.
But do your research. I could be wrong, guys.
Not just Korea, but like just going abroad and just being able to experience a different culture and like immersing yourself in something brand new. It's exciting and scary.
It is. I think this is one of the best decisions I made. I mean, I went from a really uncertain time when I left, and then I come into an uncertain area, and it was just one of the things that I definitely do not regret moving at all.
Especially when Ali came, the first outbreak outside of China was Korea. And then the first outbreak within Korea was not that far from where we are.
Yeah.
That first outbreak was not that far from our city, so it was very, very uncertain at that time. But I would highly recommend going and just experiencing it. And if it's not for you,
then leave.
You could go back home. You always go back home.
Yeah.
That's what especially my mom said. You can always go back home.
My family doesn't think I'm coming back home. They're like, we ain't gonna see you. Yeah, you're probably gonna go to Japan next, or you're gonna stay in Korea. I'm like,
I have a lot of friends that finished with Epic and then went over into the JET program too,
which is Japan's
English program too.
Yeah.
I have friends that went into China. I had friends that went into Spain too.
I had a couple that are thinking of doing Thailand or going to the Philippines.
So it's always, especially, where are we right now? We're in Korea. It's accessible to travel, especially wanting to travel in Asia. I was just talking to my sister about it. She's like, I'm jealous that like you think Ali goes to Japan often. I go much more often.
See, you're finally admitting it, because I've been getting a whole lot of smack for going to Japan 4 times.
my current passport is, I have to renew it next year. Passports are for 10 years.
Yeah.
My current passport has 8 stamps from Japan.
Oh, I'm like halfway to you.
But I also had to take a 2-year break because of COVID. But my current passport has 8 stamps from Japan, and I'm getting another one next year.
I want to go to Japan again.
The only thing, it's very easy to fly. It's just, I think because I do the short trips.
I want to go to Taiwan too again.
I'm dying to go to Taiwan again. I'm dying to go to Hong Kong again.
I want to do Hong Kong as well. I haven't done that yet though. I want to do that for like a couple days to see it.
I'm dying to go back to Thailand and Vietnam. I'm dying to go back to all these places. But I would highly recommend it.
Well, that is all for today. We're going to go eat maybe, watch Law and Order. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But thank you so much for joining the podcast. Thank you for giving us your wisdom.
Of course.
And if you can, don't forget to follow us at Here Our 2 Cents. That's here, HEAR_our 2 cents. Thank you so much for listening. See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.